Hello, today's walk is the third and final in the Fannichs mountain range, and it includes two Munros that make up the Western Fannichs, Sgùrr Breac and Chailleach. Today's walk is 16.5 kilometres with 1,107 metres of ascent. It is expected to take around 6 hours and 20 minutes to walk. I followed the route described on the Walk Highlands website. If I did this route again, I would return back down along the main ridge that you ascend, and I'll explain more during the route overview. For more information about the conditions underfoot during the walk, I cover this during the time lapse and a video commentary from the walk. It's the same parking as last week. Parking is free, there are no height restrictions, you can fit around 20 to 25 vehicles, and it was quiet when I arrived, but this was at 9:30 PM on a Friday night. It's 4 hours and 15 minutes drive from both Glasgow and Edinburgh. From the car park, head southeast, back along the A832, and then turn down a rough gravel track that leads along the edge of the woodland area on your left. Follow the track until you see a small path and the footbridge on the left. Cross the bridge and continue down the path leading into the woods. The path heads south and crosses a gravel track, and then it crosses a long footbridge over the river that leaves the loch. The path narrows and starts to curve uphill around to the left. As it starts to bend round to the left, you will see a small cairn on the right hand side. At this point you leave the gravel path and follow a soft, peaty, grassy track. This leads you up the mountainside. It is a reasonably easy route to follow and leads you up through a fairly steep and inaccessible craggy section, which is actually quite easy to ascend. You will soon come to a cairn at the start of the ridge, head southwest following a faint path on the right hand side of a peat bog, and then turn more directly south and continue up the ridge. You need to leave the clear path at this point as it continues along to the right of the ridge. You want to head up and follow along the highest part of the ridge. This takes you up to a little top. From this top you want to turn to your left, heading southeast down to the Chailleach. Then you'll start to bend slightly to the east and up the other side, which leads you to the summit of Sgùrr Breac. On the way up you'll pass a cairn and then you'll descend slightly before reaching the actual summit. From here you retrace your steps back down to the Chailleach and then up to the first top. From there you start heading west and then descend southwest. In the video I descended slightly too far to the north of where the path is, and it wasn't clear to follow the path at this point. From the Chailleach on the western side of that middle top, there is a clear and easy to follow path. It does come quite close to the long drop off on the right hand side, but there is no exposure on the left. You'll soon come to the summit of Chailleach, and if I did the walk again, I would then descend back down to this Chailleach in the middle, and then from here you can see there is a path in the map. It goes along below the ridge line, and that would be a much easier path to return along. Going back to the summit of Chailleach, from the summit you retrace your steps heading northeast for a couple of 100 metres, and then you'll see a very small cairn on the left hand side. Head north and descend down following a series of fence posts, and this takes you along the top of a broad ridge. At this point the views are amazing, but this is just before you go down to the right hand side. When you're heading down here towards the end of the loch, there is no path to follow. It's not too steep if you keep to the right hand side as you're descending down, and it's not difficult to descend. Once you get down to the end, you're going to aim for the stream that leaves the loch, and you want to cross that stream and be on the eastern side of the stream. I cut across here a little bit more to the left and then joined the stream. There was just a bit of a boggy area just at the bottom at the end of the loch. Once you get to that stream, there is a vague and wet and sometimes hard to follow path, but it leads you all the way down to the loch. Follow that stream in parallel, starting quite close to it and then a bit further away at this point. When you get down to about 350 metres in altitude, the path itself starts to bend more to the right, heading north then northeast, and it eventually joins up with the loch. The path goes around the perimeter of the loch, but it's a very rocky, rough track. It's not easy to walk along. Once you get back to the long footbridge, then you follow your original path in, retracing your steps back through the woodland and then back to the car park. Good morning, it's a little after 7 AM. The midges are unbelievably bad this morning. There's not even a single breath of air. And Chailleach looks lovely over there. But I am absolutely getting eaten alive. I'm back at the Fannichs. Climbed the last two of the Munros. The midges are so bad. Need to keep moving. It's the same route to start with as last week. So head down to the right when you get to this track here, around the side of the woods. Today I'm going to go right up the ridge in the centre of the frame. And you go all the way up to the first Munro there, it's just in cloud, then across to the right and then back down that other ridge. Oh, this is murder. When you come to this bridge on the left, cross the bridge. This track will take us right up the edge there, up to that rocky section. Still really no breeze whatsoever. Popular camping spot. There's a small cairn here on the right, marking the start of the path. Looking at the map, it looks like the path goes right up the middle of that rocky section, right in the centre of the frame up there. I can see it go so far. Hopefully it's clear and obvious. Path coming up here, it's not bad. It is muddy at times. Today is quite dry, so it's not a problem. On a wetter day it could be a bit slippier. Some of it's like this. There's a nice little path that zigzags up through the rocks here. Nice and easy and not exposed. I've made it to the start of the ridge. Just follow the path through the peat bog ahead, up onto the skyline and head up to the left into the cloud. Perfect conditions for a walk at the moment. Last week was just too hot. Sun is coming out. Second top is in cloud at the moment. The descent route comes down just in the centre of frame, down towards that lock-in. From here, I'm just going to continue all the way along this ridge line. Starting to clear up on the right hand side. Don't think I was paying attention. I've missed a turn. There's this path that goes along the side and it's very clear. I want to be going up along the ridgeline at this point. You can see the first summit, Sgùrr Breac. Cloud is just clearing up at the top. So we continue up the ridgeline here and then bend round to the left. And we're aiming for that Chailleach over there. But I don't think you can go straight for it. I think you've really got to go right up to that top there and then descend back down towards it. I think it's too craggy along the side here. There's a faint path along the ridgeline here. I'm level with the Chailleach over there, but obviously there's no accessible route round the side here. There's no easy way to go round there. So it's up and over this little top ahead and then descend down to the Chailleach and up the other side. When you see this little cairn, you want to head southeast, so turn to your left. Should be a fairly clear path going down here. A fairly gentle descent down this route to the Chailleach. There is a little cairn here at the start of the top. Drops off a little bit at the true summit, it's a little bit further over. At the summit of Sgùrr Breac. Today it's a refreshing breeze. Just looking at last week's walk, the ridge of Sgùrr Breac, just to see the summit coming into view. So from the top, retrace your steps back to that middle top. So just go straight ahead to a Chailleach. I'm back up at that middle top, the little cairn's just over there. It came from that direction. You don't need to go quite to the cairn, but you want to keep to the right hand side as you're coming across to the descent over here. And it really just goes down the main part of the ridge and up the other side. So from this rocky outcrop, the path is going down the left hand side of it. You can just make it out here, quite faint. And we're just going to follow this straight down. We'll see where it goes. I think looks like you can keep to the right hand side of those little crags and just make your way down. You can see the path at the Chailleach, and it's very clear on the opposite side. The descent path from the summit, you head to the right along that ridge line, up and over those little craggy bits, and then just curve round to the right and come down. That's long gradual slope, and it bends round and down just above the end of the loch there. It did look really steep from the opposite side when I was ascending, but now you see it's not too bad at all. And this doesn't look bad either. Just make our way down here on the right hand side, and a bit of a walk up the other side. I'm not really on the path at this point. It seems more like a sheep track. I've looked at the map and I think the path comes down further over to the left through the crags. But I'll make it round, it's not that difficult. Just heading for the Chailleach. I don't think it's far to go to the summit now. Up a bit and then a little bend to the left and along the ridge line to the summit. The path comes close to a drop. You don't need to go that close. This is a really nice scenic walk. Nothing difficult, easy path to follow. I didn't quite follow the path on the descent back there, but it wasn't difficult. At the summit of a Chailleach. Yeah, the clouds coming and going. It was clear when I first arrived. Not a bad walk that. Nice ascent up the edge of the ridge over there. Just come off the summit a little bit to get out of the wind. It's actually getting quite cool. From the summit you retrace your steps back about 200 metres, heading just a little bit north of directly east. So it's just like east-east, north, north-east-east, and then descend down the ridge. It'll be straight ahead, turning left off the path down the ridge. Looking across to Chailleach. Can just make it out through the cloud. And then down there you can see the descent ridge. Can even see the car park. It's just there. So I'm going to head back along the path, just where that walker's coming from, and down to the left. That's looking back down the ridge where I came up, just at that point. Looks like the path bends off just ahead there to the left, and there is a little point of cairn over there. May as well just go straight to the little point of cairn. I know the ridge to descend is beyond it. We'll just see exactly where the path starts. Yeah, it looks like if you went down and joined that path just as it cuts across there towards this fence post. We're just going to descend down here and then just go right along the ridge there, then down to the end of the loch down there. Looking across at the Fisherfield 6. Still got to do those ones. If you go right up to the edge, it's really windy. I'm just a little bit away and I'm just out of the wind. Just going to go over the top of that little rocky outcrop there. You can probably go around the left hand side if you don't want to go over the top. The descent route is a little bit further past that and then down on the right. Looking back, I've come over that rocky section. There are a number of fence posts. The descent path goes down to the right, somewhere right around about here. And I don't see a clear path or cairn to mark the start of it. Essentially, I want to go down there. So I'm just going to make my way down here. It's not very steep. It's hard to tell if there's been people down here before. Kind of looks like there's some signs of wear. Could always be sheep. But anyway, I'm going to head straight down here and join up with the stream that comes out of the loch over there. That first section was easy enough to walk down. Sometimes it seemed like I was on a bit of a path, but not really anything clear to follow. There's now another steeper drop off here. But I think I'm on the right route. There's clear signs of wear here. Maybe bend round a little bit to the right as I descend here. Probably keep to the right hand side, it looks less steep there, and join the stream and then bend round and down. That wasn't too bad. I mean, it is a little bit steep and no clear path, but not difficult. The descent path is on the opposite side of the stream that leaves the loch there. This isn't too steep either, so I'm just going to cut across. I mean, it looks a bit boggier straight ahead there. So I'm going to go across a little bit to the left, join up with the path, and then follow that all the way back out to the car park. I've made it down to the little stream. I'll get some water here. Cross over, see if I can pick up on the path on the other side. At this point you're at 650 metres And so there's quite a lot of descent down the gully ahead. It bends round a little bit to the left and just follows the river. You're on the right hand side of this little stream, follows that down. Navigation will be easy, not so sure about the quality of the path. I've never done this one before. So the path, it stays a little bit further away from the stream now, more on the right hand side. And then as you descend down to about 350 metres, it really starts to bend off to the right. It doesn't follow the stream all the way down to the loch. It cuts round the corner of the hillside down there. Path is okay. Some of it's a little bit soft. Right now it's a little bit vague. I think I can see a bit of path ahead there. So I'm just going to go around this rock on the left. The path, it's not the most obvious at this point, but it cuts across the hillside there, and further down, right there, I can see the path there, so that's what I'm aiming for. Join up with that, just going around this sort of steep section here, and above where that landslide is. All the way down that section, the path is a little bit tricky to follow, and it looks like I've lost it at the moment, but looking around I think I can see signs of a path just over there, so I'll just cut across to that. It's a really beautiful day, but I need the wind to pick up. There's so many horseflies, and they're getting their fast food takeaway delivered to them. Yeah, this is no good. You can see the sheep pen over there, a couple of big rocks here. Path starts to bend a little bit to the right, and then not much further down it should bend even more to the right. It's quite vague, as you can see, but there are some signs of where. I'll go around the coast. Slight breeze. I'm getting absolutely eaten alive. You can see the woodland that we walked through earlier today. 3.3 kilometres back to the car park, estimated to take 50 minutes. So back at the bridge, quite a rough track that, going around the loch. I think if I was to do it again, I would come down from the summit to the Chailleach, follow that path I was on that skirts round the side of the middle top, and come back down the ridge. A little bit easier to walk. But from here, back up through the woods and round to the car park. I'm back at the car park. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's just taken 6 hours since leaving the car park. And as always, I look forward to showing you more in the next video. Bye for now.